This wellness session is provided to you by the Contra Costa Health Services Wellness Team. Please contact CCHSWellness at cchealth.org if you have any questions. By viewing today's session, we hope to enhance self and mutual awareness, understanding, and appreciation of different wellness well-being practices and perspectives. The content I will provide today is based on my lived experience, clinical experience, and research. In today's session, we'll be discussing restorative justice spaces and wellness practices, a California Indigenous perspective. Presentation slides are available for your review. And let's go ahead and take a big inhale through our nose. Take in one extra sip of air and exhale out of our mouths. And let's get into today's presentation. Vichixis Kaningayasat Skye Innerarity. My name is Skye Innerarity. I'm Northern Sir Miwok and a citizen of the Ion Band of Miwok Indians. I am also a licensed marriage and family therapist in Sacramento, where I work with folks in a private practice setting. If you'd like to know a little bit more about me, here is my extended bio, and here's a photo of myself, in case you forget what I look like. Let's go over our learning objectives for today. First, we will define restorative justice, identify the guiding principles associated with it, and explore common ways in which it is applied in programmatic settings. Together, we will explore a California Indigenous perspective on what it looks and feels like to be in restorative justice spaces and to engage in contextual wellness practices. Finally, we will identify practical ways to apply information discussed in this presentation to both our individual lives and collective lives. Let's go over one operational definition of restorative justice: a process to involve, to the extent possible, those who have a stake in a specific offense and to collectively identify and address harms, needs, and obligations in order to heal and put things as right as possible. In this sense, restorative justice is a form of social justice. It attempts to create healing and to decrease the damages of those who experience injustice and/or wrongdoing. It attempts to restore those who have been harmed, whether an individual or the community, to as good or better of a place prior to the occurrence of the harm. Common practices include restorative circles and community building gatherings. What's slightly different about an Indigenous approach to restorative justice is in the following. So it touches on our relational worldview, which is holistic and strength-based in its approach. So the goal is not to decipher what went wrong, but instead to repair the harm and therefore repair the relationships. The power of language is really important. Prior to some of the language used in previous slides, from more of an academic perspective, Indigenous communities really emphasize person-first language, avoiding labels unless they're used by participants, and it's healthy and helpful to use those labels. What this does is it promotes equity in voice. Something that's also unique to Indigenous communities is the power of role, right? So the role that we play in community, the various roles that make up a community. Restorative justice practices are used proactively, right? They are instilled in community, they are day-to-day practices, they are not reactionary and only occur in response to harm being done. So here's our summary and a few takeaways. And above all, I'd like to highlight restorative justice is a way of being and therefore requires practice. In terms of self-care tips and practice and community care tips and practice, I have two questions that I would like you to reflect on. How do I experience restorative justice, and what do these experiences look and feel like? And then what does restorative justice look like in my family and community and/or communities? What are small, manageable ways to increase restorative justice practices, or even to just create restorative justice consciousness in the ways in which we move in community? By viewing today's session, we hope we enhance self and mutual awareness, understanding, and appreciation of different wellness, well-being practices and perspectives. The content I provided today is based on my lived experience, clinical experience, and research. The wellness session has been provided to you by the Contra Costa Health Services Wellness Team. Please contact CCHSWellness at cchealth.org if you have any questions. And thank you for your time today.